Hey folks, welcome to We Built This White Lake. My name is Amy Van Loon. I'm the Executive Director of the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Stephanie Ware, Director of Events and Membership with the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce.
And we are your hosts and your guests for We Built This White Lake, which is recorded in CatchMark Technology Studios. And today we are each other's guests. Typically, we would be interviewing or speaking with some area businesses in our community to hear their story. Well, guess what? Today, we get the opportunity to tell our story about the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce, a little bit about who we are, our background, and where we came from. So we are a member-based nonprofit organization. We are a 501c6 as opposed to a 501c3. So it puts us in a little bit of a different category. But as a Chamber of Commerce, we are that resource and that connector in the community, as well as marketing and promoting our businesses and tourism. So we have the privilege to promote our beautiful community on a daily basis. And so that is a little bit about what a Chamber of Commerce does. So upon approaching this interview today with one another, we started doing a little digging, some articles and some books, just to find some factoids about the Chamber of Commerce. And we looked at some snippets of some news articles dating way back into the 70s, which was really fun to do that digging and looking at pictures and images and things that haven't necessarily been recorded digitally, but just kind of sit in files and such within our Chamber of Commerce building. So with that, Stephanie came upon some really interesting facts that we're going to go ahead and share with you.
For reference, a lot of these facts came from a book by Dr. Dan Yates, who is local to the White Lake area. He wrote a book called Looking Aft, the history of the White Lake Yacht Club and tourism in the White Lake area. He released that in the early 2000s, actually, for the Yacht Club's 100th anniversary.
Okay.
But the book itself is hundreds and hundreds of pages of beautiful facts and articles and information and photos of the tourism industry in our area. So from that, we learned a few additional things we didn't know. But we did know that in 1971, the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce was officially founded. So prior to that, several chambers had been formed over the years, here and there, but as two separate entities. So there was one in Montague and one in Whitehall. And they were always volunteer-led, right? This volunteer basis by area businesses. And then it was in 1971 that both sides of the bridge decided that they would be way more effective if they just came together and became the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce.
And I love that concept, right? That's what we still thrive on today is the unity that we have between both Montague and Whitehall. There again, we have heard recently, it is a river that divides us, but the bridge that connects us. And we love promoting both Montague and Whitehall. And so kudos to those forefathers to say, hey, let's go ahead and band together and really make this something great, which it is, and form this organization to be able to promote both sides of the bridge.
And then in 1981, the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce became what it is today, which is the White Lake Area Chamber and Visitors Bureau. And that's how they were able to move to their permanent location. So it was 1982, the organization found their permanent home at the old abandoned depot where it resides today. Prior to that, offices were here and there. They were in a lobby at Whitehall City Hall. They were in an insurance office over on Colby. And again, they didn't really have full-time staff at that point. It was mostly volunteers. And then in the 52 years of the organization, which I think is great to show the consistency that the organization has had, it's only had 3 full-time directors, starting with Carol Wood and then Eleanor Polly. Carol Wood came back again when Al Polly unexpectedly passed away, and then Amy Van Loon.
So you had mentioned our location, and if we could build everything right on the bridge that incorporated both Montague and Whitehall and was White Lake area, whatever that might be, it would be built on that bridge. And there again, location. I love being that close to the water. We have bragging rights of where we are located because we have water to the left, water to the right, and it is so iconic in its location. And if we say we're in the renovated train depot, or even the caboose, which the Chamber of Commerce purchased in 1987 and relocated it there, sometimes people think our office is in the caboose. It's not, it's in the depot, but we know what they're saying. So it's become kind of a little historic district down there now that the Mind Hardy building has been relocated in that property as well. So we love our location, and it's right on the bike trail. It's so accessible. We have not only visitors that come into our offices, but also community members that want to maybe seek out information or they may need assistance, as well as for our businesses to have accessibility to us in our office. So we love our location, right? Just that historic, over 100-year-old building. It's been well preserved up to this point. So
Our location is perfect. I never get sick of people coming in and going, wow, this is a great building. This is a great location. I'm like, oh, thank you. We agree. It's perfect.
So with those factoids and such, some of this comes with some challenges, and once again, old building, but also us as an organization, and as we grew and over the years. So with those challenges, Stephanie, you want to start? What would you say have been some of our hurdles or things that we have had to overcome?
Just in the couple of years that I've been really doing this, I mean, I've been a community supporter long before that, but being able to be in the organization itself, I would say one of the biggest challenges for me is that balance of chamber and visitors bureau. We are both. We are very much both. Full time, both of those organizations is what we are, and we're a very small staff, and we always have been. And so, while I would say, gosh, we have such great community members and businesses who support us. There are absolutely those cases of the complaint that we're either too oriented on businesses and not enough on the community or tourism, or that we're too focused on parades and events and not enough on businesses. And that's always hard to hear, especially when we always feel that internal battle ourselves. Where we have to keep that balance of we are a chamber full time, but we're also a visitors bureau full time. And so I would say that's a challenge.
I agree. Additionally, I think as over the decades, since I'm approaching my 20th year, I would say the ebb and flow of the economy. And that is, when the economy is strong, that is when we're feeling our strongest. And when businesses are struggling, we feel that pain also. And so I think that's kind of part of the ebb and flow of any organization, especially a nonprofit organization. So I would say that's kind of one of our challenges, is just kind of riding the wave as it occurs. With that comes those victories, and those victories are riding the wave as it occurs. And I would say that the victories are where we are today. We're still a strong organization. I would give our community A+. They are awesome. We thrive on the partnerships that we have formed over the years. And we love those relationships that we have built. So it's probably one of the things that we have accomplished and have achieved, I would say, over the years. How about you? What would you say is some of those victories or things that we have done that's been pretty cool?
Well, definitely a lot of the things in the community. When we were talking ahead of time of what would we say, so many of them I could say are things that we've got to actually just be a part of or witness our businesses or cities or townships do and accomplish themselves. That's exciting because that helps us promote our area and promote our businesses to not only locals but visitors as well when those things happen. But I would definitely say one of the greatest things that this organization has done, in my opinion, is the Live White Lake campaign, which I was not even here for. I just had the privilege of carrying on that torch. That was, I think, 2016, when the Chamber and Visitors Bureau had partnered with Revel in Muskegon and came up with that Live White Lake campaign. And it stayed strong over the years since then, and it's such a good community brand because everybody who lives here and everyone who visits here instantly feels that White Lake pride. And that's something we hear again and again when people come in. And the Live White Lake campaign really drives that hashtag of Live White Lake. The more people use that on any platform of social media, we direct visitors there when they're looking to come to the area. We say, you can check us out on social media, but search this hashtag because those are where you see the photos of people doing the things that our area has to offer, whether it's snowmobiling or fishing or walking or going to the splash pad or seeing the world's largest weather vane, whatever it is, people can link it to that hashtag and we get to share those with people.
So you're touching on it a little bit. Can you share with our viewers the social media aspect of our Chamber of Commerce? This is something that has just really taken off, and Stephanie has done an amazing job of managing that social media platform. So anything from our Facebook to even our most recent.
So Facebook changes, all social media changes. It's changing all the time. The demographic for Facebook is definitely changing. And with it, Instagram is changing, and now TikTok is here, and there's a dozen other platforms that we're not on because we just have to focus on a few things at a time. But it's changed what we put out there, how often we post, because daily is a lot better than hourly, we've learned. And so, you have to publish things a lot less because less is a lot more. You want it to be seen. It's kind of this balancing act. But I would say there's been some social media changes we've made over the last few months that I was a little nervous to make, not knowing how business and community members would respond. And we've not heard complaints, and that's been really great. People have been just as supportive on our social media. TikTok is our newest thing. We're still figuring it out. But definitely follow us on TikTok. The username is Live White Lake. And we're going to be doing some cool videos there. We've started some things, and it's exciting to see. Social media is not going anywhere. I do think it'll just kind of continue to grow and grow and grow, and we'll have different platforms, and we'll just continue to have to adjust.
It's a great tool, though, for us to communicate to the public about things going on, but not only events and activities, but also sharing and celebrating our businesses and our members. So sometimes when we hear, oh, we didn't know this was going on, it's still trying to find how people are finding out about what is going on. Is it our local paper? Is it through email? Is it through social media? So that is still, I think, another challenge of reaching, trying to reach most people we can of things going on in the community. So we do a lot of events throughout the year, and Stephanie is our director of events and membership. Tell us a little bit about maybe what your favorite event is and why.
Well, currently the Christmas parade is in a couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
So I would tell you the Christmas parade's my favorite event. And what I mean, and I truly mean this, the week of any event, that is my favorite event. My first year doing the events, I thought I could pick, nope, this one's my favorite, this one's my favorite. But it's not. I can't think of an event I love better, because you could ask me and I could say, oh, it's definitely the 4th of July parade, seeing everybody come together. And I could say, actually, no, it's totally June Arts and Crafts. No, it's completely Pumpkin Fest. What am I saying? Of course, it's Holiday Walk. No, it could be any of these events, because in all of these events, almost all of them, we do have some new ones that we've added, which is great, but they have a lot of history already to them. And so people are already excited for them and support them. And it's just anytime you can see businesses and the community members coming out together and just enjoying our area. So much of it is just enjoying what our area businesses have to offer and enjoying what our natural resources have to offer. And when we can do that and create that environment, that's going to be my favorite event.
That's fair.
What about you? What's your favorite event, Amy?
Oh, so many of our events, majority of our events are outside, and they're weather dependent. So if, we could work so hard to put together a great event, and if the weather does not cooperate, that definitely affects the event. I would say my favorite event is our Business Expo. And the reason is not only because it's inside, but because it follows our mission as a Chamber of Commerce. This is an opportunity for our local services, businesses, and such to exhibit their wares and their services. And when it originated, it kind of dawned on me that so many people were hitting the highway and going to Muskegon or going to Grand Rapids for the exact same product and the exact same service that we have right here in White Lake. So I love to see the people come out and find out more about the services. And so that just is an event that continues to keep going strong. It's also typically late winter, early spring. And so people kind of come out of hibernation and neighbors and friends kind of reunite. And it's a big social event in addition to seeing some of those businesses. So I would say probably Business Expo, but the same. There's not one that I can really say that I love more or the other because they're all different and have a different purpose. So
a certain executive director I know has told me that the reason I love all of these outside events is that I have not yet had one that's gotten completely destroyed by weather. And that is accurate. I am very thankful for that. I have not yet experienced 2 days of the Arts and Crafts Festival raining. I've participated in them, but I've not experienced them as leading them. So that is correct, but I still think they're all just as magical.
And you are so passionate about events. But what would you say is your favorite part of your job as in your role at the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, gosh. Well, even though I knew that you were going to ask me that,
Mm-hmm.
I still don't 100% know how to pin that down because that could change in any given day as well.
Sure.
Definitely the relationships with our members, with the businesses. It takes time to get that, to be able to know who everybody is and hope that they might at least be familiar with you. And it takes time. And when you get there, it's such a sweet thing. It's such a great relationship to be able to go in and then you get to know not only the person behind this business, but, their life and their stories. And you get to follow up and, hey, how's the family doing? And how's this going? And I love being able to have that relationship. But one thing is, I'm from this area, but I'm not from this area. And so growing up further south in Muskegon, I didn't have that small town love and appreciation. And when I came up here, truthfully, I was not quite sure where I landed. And then once you do experience like that love for this area and you get it, you jump on board with that White Lake area pride. That's one thing that I love about my job is getting to see that through other people's eyes. Whether they've lived here their whole life and you just get to see their reignited passion for our area, or whether you have a visitor who comes in and they're like, man, this place is great. I know, it is. Or when you get a new business owner, I can think of a handful off the top of my head of new business owners who aren't from this area who have gone, wow, what a place to plant a business. Like, this is fantastic. What a great community support we have here. Yes. So that's definitely a huge part of my job is getting to see what I love and I'm excited about every day, getting to see other people excited about it as well. What about you?
Very similar, and I could probably say ditto or same, but it is the people that make up the community. It's the people that are the business owners, and I look back over the years and have had the privilege of working with some really amazing people, not only within our chamber but also within our two cities. We love working with Montague and Whitehall cities and the townships. So I'd say that, as well as the visitors and the tourists that do come into the center. If I could just stand right there in our tourist center and just stand there all day and talk to our visitors, I would love that. But the staff does a great job also of doing that because we have that smidgen of an opportunity to yes, brag about our community. But go here, go there. And what we hear is how amazing our area is. Anything from the water, there might be boaters, they might be bikers, and they're on, the trail. They love our trails. People come from far and wide to experience our bike trails. So our outdoor recreation is such a flagship in our community. So I would say, both, insiders and outsiders, the people that we encounter. So I would say my favorite part is encountering the people here and the ones that visit. So,
Amy, do you have any parting messages for us?
I would say, as we conclude this episode of We Built This, I would just like to project the message of supporting local, and that is for people to support our local businesses. That is a theme that we have day in and day out. So that would probably be, my biggest push would be for people to support local businesses. How about you?
Same.
Okay.
But also to advocate for local businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, if I experience something, if I have good service, or if I have a great meal, or if I purchase something really unique or cool, I'm going to be excited about it. I'm going to tell people about it. And just encouraging other people to do the same. If you go and you experience a good local experience with whether it's a service or a restaurant or a shop or anything, share that with other people because word of mouth is the greatest influencer. I mean, we can promote our businesses, and we do, but one of the greater things we can do is encourage our people to support local, because when you do that, word of mouth just flies. And
I
that
agree.
is the best way to get the message out there.
Yay. All right. Well, Stephanie, thank you for partnering with me today and sharing a little bit about the White Lake Area Chamber of Commerce and Convention Visitors Bureau. So we're really proud of our organization, where we are today, where we came from. And so if you're ever in the area, feel free to stop in and say hello. Be sure to tap into our social media platforms as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.